It's totally understandable if you need to skip this video, if it's a bit too scary for you. Listen, there's no shame in being a hoe. I'm just saying, this one might be a bit much for some of you. I'm wearing my Minecraft Lacoste t-shirt today in honor of the JPEG Mafia listen. If you know, you know. I'm still in a very grimy, aggressive, experimental listening mood, so I've really been looking forward to this release. Today, we're scaring the hoes.
First off, fuck Elon Musk, $8 too much, that's expensive.
My genuine first thoughts to the production on this were that it seemed a lot like hyperpop, but I held my tongue because I don't even know what the sound classifies as. Oh my god. Oh god. This track is riddled with online references from Twitter to bubbled political discourse to Soylent to, of course, the titled Lean Beef Patty. But apparently, JPEG is not as online as everyone thinks he is, and it was actually Danny Brown who wanted to name the track after her. Okay, I knew it was going to be aggressive. I didn't realize it was going to start off so insane. This is... okay. I don't even know what to say about this. It's a lot. I will say, unless I'm forgetting a feature, I think the only time I've ever heard Danny Brown was in the Quedeca album, and I really liked his feature. His voice is very memorable, and mixed with this, with Peggy's production, it's the "what kind of rapping is this" reference from LP Offline was... like, took me by surprise. I was like, wait, have I heard this song before? But no. Elon Musk and Ye references are, oh my god, so on the nose, especially since I think either yesterday or today, Ye also started stirring up some drama again, but love you, Jonah Hill. I'm definitely gonna have to revisit this and try to figure out all the lyrics and references, but oh my god. I also did see that Lean Beef Patty, like, left a comment under the music video on YouTube saying, very nice. I did see that. I thought that was really cute. Muscle mommy.
Uncut with that top side, my brain fried. Don't do drugs, had 2 plugs, 1 Tesla pay. Now I do this for my legacy. Top over my dog gave me an extra 3.
Probably one of the more digestible tracks on the album, production-wise, with plenty of electronic influence and easy-to-follow beats. It might have even been a smoother introduction than Lean Beef Patty, but it also kind of serves as a reward for those who weren't initially scared off by the first track.
I do nothing with hope. I'ma try Molly and Zans. They try to get me the ghost. Boy, you ain't Kai when teaching you band. 90 degrees with a coat, ho, and I ain't showing my hands. I make it harder to breathe, fuck 'em.
Oh. For some reason, JPEG has an online association with incels, to the point where he told DIY Magazine, I don't make music for incels, but they think I'm one of them for some reason. I don't really know what the olive branch I extended to incels is, but I never extended it.
These shots don't gauge, you finna just dance like Goten. White people love making excuses and bitching, I guess it's what culture is broken. I ain't taking disrespect from no man.
He also talks about how he's just working on his music, making money, and touring. He's a big stepper in his craft. I really love Peggy's voice. It's so smooth, like butter. I really like that one. I really like that one. Also, the titles for all of these are so funny. Jack Harlow Combo Meal. I'm so excited to hear that one. The clapping, the saxophone, I know, it really sounds like a woodwind. And the main ad-libs throughout the track were from a 2012 untitled Pitchfork performance by Dirty Beaches. And those guitar additions were by JPEG Mafia.
You wanna be an MC? What the fuck you think it's the 93? Welcome to that big league, this young man's work, but they can't pop it.
As soon as the drums hit, I was all in. I love that JPEG and Danny both take turns chanting the chorus. It feels like they're really in it together, taunting each other, as if actually concerned for the hoes they're scaring away with their album. If she's scared, I don't want her. Oh my god. I don't know, it's so refreshing. It feels like they're just having fun, you know? The production is like deep fried to hell and back. The sample beat was shared last year by JPEG Mafia on Twitter, but it was soon deleted, probably because he realized he actually wanted to keep it for a future release. I'm so glad he put it out on this album. Oh my god. A lot of this track and the core of the album criticizes artists who don't take their craft so seriously. They're calling out rappers for focusing more on profiting off their image than their music.
Yeah, some of you niggas be talking that shit, you spit on your life, you motherfucking rap. Get lined up and then don't get slapped in the tub and shot me through the back. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, ass nigga, why the fuck you ain't get it? The way that you talk, somebody should be missing my boy.
That entrance to the second verse is so energetic, and I don't think a single day has gone by where I haven't had it stuck in my head either.
Over 30, get your ass beat, we can run that. Come on, bro.
Oh, those guitars, my god. Garbage Pail Kids. This is so rebellious, I feel like. There are a lot of references to this isn't gonna go mainstream, this isn't gonna make us money. It feels like a slap in the face to like the labels or other artists in the mainstream that have to like play it safe. And I feel like there's always going to be that rebellion in any genre. Honestly, I don't even know what genre this would be, if it would be classified as rap or hip hop. I honestly have no idea.
You know, I'm just saying, man. Is it the cars, the clothes, the money, the jewelry, the crib, the drug, or the hoes?
I love the flow of this one, the non-stop listicle, an 8-bitty beat switch, the chord progressions, the Kella sample outro, incredible, beautifully crafted.
I wanna rock right now, hitting whippets and eating halal, get to clipping while whipping these sounds. You get hit, you gon' sing like Bilal.
Bilal was featured in Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly, so I was pleasantly surprised to see him referenced here. Maybe I should check out his solo stuff.
I do what I want to. Stay, yeah, ain't no
Oh my god, those drums.
and she picking those on hinges. Look at him, he's so expensive. Make her hop on when my mention when she see it so expensive.
I feel like JPEG's production style has an aesthetic of excess. There's a lot happening in this one, but everything works in harmonic complexity. Oh my god. He's prioritizing quantity to attribute to quality. Less isn't more, as it is in most modern day production, but more is more. Those stutters. That's crazy. The gating on this one was insane, and the vocal chops. Either that was a really expensive sample to get the licensing for, or we're gonna see a lawsuit pretty soon. I think I mentioned this in a previous listen, but I always am so intrigued by artists that produce with like very heavy vocal sampling behind the top line track, whether it's singing or rapping, right? Because it's so distracting. It's like my brain is trying to fight to listen to one thing or another, but I guess that's kind of the point of Peggy's production. He's just playing around, making what sounds good.
Like NASCAR, nigga, you bet not go. But you better get your mind right, boy. Let it sit all over that windshield. Okay, I see what you're doing.
Hype track of the century. If I were training, if I were stepping into the ring, taking a victory lap, I'd want this to be my anthem. Perfect use of the sampled orchestration, Procession of the Levites by Richard Smallwood.
And you know, I don't know any other name tonight under the heaven.
Walking this bitch with a wild. Fuck with you in your top tail. Rappers be calling the cops. Civilians thinking we off. This is shit that I flash in the ball. No, extra turn in the off. Give me that Nessie, give me that fruit, give me that Barbara.
I'm shaking. The title likely references Vontae's Burfict, an NFL player who has been fined over $5 million for foul play. I didn't even know that was a thing. I love this one so much. Oh my god. I feel like it won't get a lot of replay value just because that trumpet motif is so repetitive. Like, I feel like that will get tiring for me personally pretty quickly. But so good on first listen. My god. Perfect. This one really reminded me of one of the tracks on Offline LP, like more so than the other ones. For sure. Honestly, don't know what they're talking about. The entirety of the song, I'm just like, I was so like, oh man.
Shut the fuck up talking to me! I don't rap circles, rap niggas, I do figure eights.
It's interesting to me that they decided to have two track titles for this one. Part 1 probably referring to putting down other rappers in the game, and Part 2, after the beat switch, referring to the lines highlighting their own personal struggles, which they push through and get work done, making good music. Those struggles muddy the waters, so to speak.
So my head had my brain all scattered. It's your finish like your
I love that.
like you're speaking in tongues. So Daddy home, they all my sons.
Forgive me, Father, for slaying Sookie through muddy waters. Forgive they daughters, they barking at me, I'm raw dog. It's Black AOC.
Oh. Across this track and the next, Peggy references himself as the Black AOC and the Black Marjorie Taylor Greene, both of whom are on polar opposite sides of the political spectrum, with JPEG critiquing that both left and right sides are a mess, not focusing on the real issues.
You think you know me? 100 times before.
Up the Britney Spears got me dancing like I lost control. Out of the poppy a double, I might be in trouble. I'm looking like Space Jam.
I like that below. JPEG Mafia was actually inspired by the Mid-Villainy sessions to limit his resources and work solely with a Roland SP404. He says that's what hip-hop is, a beat, vocals, mic, and a crowd, so I'm stripping it to its bare essentials.
She wanna roll with a real boy, nigga boy acting too.
Okay, dangerous. Swang with us, sang with us, the chopper. Catching size and it's spitting like he is overtime. And I'm still taking threes. I see the lies and I hope y'all believe it. Confront me and I get to sucking this shit. Right after taking the shit. Wait.
The Kendrick reference, and I don't know if this is right, but specifically what comes to mind is the dick the size of the Eiffel Tower. Your parents lied, you ain't special, you weak. Oh my god. Yeah, same note I'll make as the previous one with the milkshake sample, and this one with the Michael Jackson sample. He also does make a lot of political references. I think this is like the third or fourth one that I'm seeing. Fifth one. I mean, obviously you're not going to catch everything that they are saying on first listen. I'm already like sold completely on Peggy's production, but in order to get an understanding of what they're actually saying, I think it will require a couple more listens from me at least.
Just one time, bitch thick. All that money get flushed in a blink.
JPEG Mafia is undoubtedly a PlayStation 2 fan, as you can find samples, references, and nostalgia woven throughout his discography.
Feel like Ezra when I'm on the scene. All these felonies they never seen. Got my cup like I'm Argentine. Like the second bitch stay off my screen. I'm a dribble, go give me a ring. You got money, you don't gotta think. One. Look on my headline is Kane. I'm living life in a flash. We got me the car, you edge my
Peggy and Danny discussed on The Danny Brown Show that Peggy used to be bald, but was now able to fund a hair procedure from his hard work. Love that for him.
Me. Got love in the middle, I ain't money. Don't know boo, bitch, you get Tony. Ain't no way a bitch get shit from me. How you think you is? So better go and get it together.
Oh my god. Definitely the prettiest production on the entire album. It sounds magical. I truly appreciate Peggy's sampling work throughout the album. It sheds light on his interests and what piques his ear as well.
Party's over, Grandpa.
Oh, I loved this one so much. Also, Red Veil sounds so familiar. I wonder if we've listened to him before. I don't think we've listened, but I did get a lot of recommendations for Learn to Swim. That was a lot of people's album of the year last year, so I think this might be the first time I'm listening to Red Veil, but I really like it. So honestly tempting, because I really liked that verse. The sexualized religious interpolations are the main highlight of this track and absolutely caught me off guard. One every once in a while, they can be expected, but an entire verse dedicated to the bit got me re-excommunicated by proxy. Nardwuar gifted JPEG Mafia so many records for him to sample in his production, and I love that he actually went and did it for this one.
How many times I gotta tell you when I get to the money, better shake that out. That pussy like Baptist, 2 miles, I'll see that.
Ski Mask has been sprinkled throughout my comment section, especially on the Denzel Curry reactions. Very fitting, given the topical opportunity here. Oh, blasphemous. Blasphemous. This is honestly so funny though. I'm probably not gonna revisit this one that much, but it's conceptually so funny. Just like taking the most popular biblical stories and just sexualizing them on top of like a choir or Christian uplifting music. Remember when I said that this was a rebellious rebellious album? God loves you. And in this case, God is a woman.
I feel like torn a ride, angry and short, willing to die.
I didn't find this out until afterward, but the song 3 Tears by Danny Brown features Run the Jewels and is also produced by JPEG Mafia. I love this connection between all these artists and how special it is to them. That was so short. Wait, I didn't even catch what the Run the Jewels reference was, so that definitely flew over my head. I did listen to one Run the Jewels feature on Hip Hop 50 Volume 1, and I really, really loved it. But I feel like I don't know enough about them to understand what the reference is here, or if it was just, homage in the title. Sometimes that happens, I don't know. I really, really liked that Danny Brown said I'd done switched this style already, and literally the style switched in the production. That was so beautiful. Okay, Jack Harlow Combo Meal. Been waiting for this one. I'm so curious. I've listened to a couple Jack Harlow tracks. All I know about him is that you either love him or you hate him. I listened to Industry Baby, which is actually a Lil Nas X track, but I did listen to a single, I think, Nail Tech. I listened to Nail Tech. It was interesting, for sure. Catchy. Definitely written for a certain audience, if you know what I mean. But so yeah, curious to know about JPEG Mafia and Danny Brown's thoughts on Jack Harlow. Ooh. The chill jazz piano at the beginning of this track really stands out from the rest of the album. I think this means we're about to hear something a little more serious.
Check! I done bought stuff on a big mom phone that whole like Sarah right now, right? Everything I thought was wrong. Got big like you won't see tomorrow.
I love that.
Family sorrow.
Lean Beef Patty, Vontae's Perfect, Orange Juice Jones, and Run the Jewels, aside from Mike, were not mentioned in the lyrics of their titular tracks, but it's interesting to note that Jack Harlow is now being explicitly called out.
To me, it's just regular haze.
Oh, this is beautiful.
My cuticles, tired of smoking this regular thing.
Black artists experimented and created rap and hip-hop, so white artists like Jack Harlow profiting from safe, commercially popular rap is frustrating. And now everyone seems to want a Jack Harlow combo meal or something more consumer-friendly.
Yeah. Your path is looking like shit. Your bag is looking like shit. That ass is looking like shit.
Modern rap artists tend to stick to the status quo, exchanging their creativity and artistry for fame and money.
Like I'm Christopher Nolan. It's for real. Bustin' drones while I'm packing a steel. Fishy niggas fuck with it, get real.
With such a swingy instrumental, I'm thoroughly impressed at the flow work of both Danny and JPEG on this one.
From the doulas, triggering nobody's living rent free. Spot niggas living vicariously. Niggas that don't know they exist.
A constant thought in my initial listen was, how is this going to work? How is this working? This just works.
The
swing is insane on this one.
Tell me who that from me. Think I need therapy, so got a text, but his message turned green. Show me your sign.
What's so cute about the relationship is that before they met, JPEG was already a fan of Danny Brown, and when Stereogum inquired further, he said, I approached Danny because, shit, Kanye is a Nazi now, so he's my #1 rapper at this point. Whoa. Okay, that might have been a little too fast for me, but was that the sidechain on the vocals? I could be very wrong on that though. There's one sample that's like very rising, uplifting. I loved it so much. I did see this tweet by Peggy that said, made every beat on the album with one machine, the SP404. Wanted to see what it's like to make music with one machine. Definitely hearing similar sounds on a lot of these tracks, but it gives it a sense of cohesion, not necessarily like that it was lazy or reusing instruments. At least in the electronic scene a couple years ago, people get really annoyed when producers use the same sounds balance in multiple tracks, especially over the course of an album, and I just don't understand that argument at all. It helps it feel like one project. Also, it's just a limit that you can give yourself to help your creativity flourish, you know? Anyway, personally, I think that that's really fun. I think that's a really fun idea, and I love that he did that. So, all right, let's get to the last one. I think that I was expecting more from this track as a finality track, but the more that I've listened, the more I wish, hope, and pray it will be a perfect lead into Scaring the Hoes Volume 2. Whoa.
Chiseling on K-walls 1,000 years later, they can break that voicemail with death call, won't answer to no one.
The third verse is probably my favorite of Danny's from this album, and the sample in the background is so sweet. I almost wish the track closed with it, rather than edging me again with these horns. Oh my god, no. Honestly, I'm so unsatisfied by that ending. The entire song, it felt like there was going to be some sort of release. There was a lot of tension built up. There was a lot of, it feels like it's leading you to something. And there's no satisfaction. But overall, this has been so much fun. I'm so glad that this has been released. I think I will give it a couple more listens just to see if I can pick out any more references or like understand a little bit more of what's going on, because honestly this was more of a production listen for me. But I'm really glad that I gave it a listen today, and patrons know what's coming next, so stay tuned, stay safe, and be kind.